How's it going, everyone? Chris here, and in this video we're going to be going over how to assemble this Mega Victreebel Pokéball after you're done printing. So let's get to it. Alright, so what we're going to do to start here is we're going to take these two brown pieces here and push those together. They're not going to glue together, but the head will hold them together. When you have them lined up, like if you have it backwards, they're just not going to line up, but if you have it in the right direction, they will. And I'll show you what it looks like in a zoomed in perspective in a second, but you're going to take that little square on the bottom, push that into the body, hear it all like click together, and looking at the head here, it should look something like this, where the front piece has a little bit sticking out this way, and on the side we have a little bit sticking out this way. Now with that on there, we can take the yellow head piece, and you're gonna have to push it in kind of like angle it back and then down. So if I angle see that lip that's on the back here? That's kind of hard to see in the camera, but there's a lip there, and we want that to go underneath the vine here. So we're going to push it into the corner and down and on, and just kind of like make sure you get a little click there. And with that, we'll have the head completely on the body. All right, so now let's move on to the next piece. All right, so next we're going to take our center here. So I have the one with the clicky button. If you don't have the clicky button, again, you're gonna have the piece with the stem. You're then gonna take that, put it into the body and twist, and that should be nice and locked in. Then we can go ahead and take our center disc. Now there's the flat side, smooth side, and then there's the side that's all rough. The rough side that was on the print bed is gonna be the bottom. So you're gonna push this down and over, so that way the nice smooth side is facing up. Then once that's on, we can go ahead, put our top half on sideways and twist it into position. And now it's nice and locked into place. All right, so with our head on, what we could do now is put a little bit of glue in this area where the mouth is gonna go. And then we could take our pink mouthpiece and push that in. So make sure you have it all nice and lined up. And then that should click into position, and our mouthpiece is on. All right, so now we're gonna put this button in, and this button is gonna be harder to get in than usual because of how deep the opening is here. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna look to put in this like bump out piece, and you're gonna kind of just push it against the black and make sure it's lined up in the right position. So let me get mine lined up right. Okay, so now once you have it kind of lined up like this, you're gonna wanna push on the button out and in, and it kind of just snapped into position there, and now it's lined up. So just kind of like wiggle it around, get it into position, and when you have it right and lined up, everything should start to click. All right, so I just had to play around with it. I just had to like kind of push it in a little bit and wiggle it, but I got the click going. All right, so now we have to assemble a bunch of small pieces here. So we're gonna start with this big leaf piece, and I'm just gonna start by taking a little bit of glue and putting that glue on the outside edges of this leaf piece. So I'm gonna go all around the outside edges here. Then I'm gonna take my big yellow piece here, and I'm gonna push that on and line this up. So that's all lined up nice and flat. So that's gonna look like that. Then if I look at the other edges here, I'm gonna take these other yellow pieces and we're gonna line these up. Get that guy on there. And then I'm gonna get this guy on there. Just make sure everything is nice and flush. So this is the first part of the leaf. All right, so next we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna take some glue and rub it around the outside of the yellow now, and just work our way all the way around. All right, and now I'm gonna take my red pieces and we're gonna do the same thing. So the red piece is gonna line up right here. Then I'm gonna take the other red pieces and push those into position, get them nice and flush. All right, and then last but not least. All right, so that is my leaf, all nice and assembled. Now, when you're done assembling it, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a little bit of glue, push it in the back slot over here on the head, and we can take that leaf now and just push it in, and it should be nice in position on top of his head. All right, so now we're gonna take all these little green pieces over here, and we're just gonna push them into the body. So you're gonna take all of the sides that have the print bed on it, and those are gonna be the flat bottom parts, and that's what you're gonna be pushing into the body. So just line these all up where they need to go. If you wanna use glue here, by all means, go for it. I don't think they'll require glue, but as always, glue will stop them from coming out. So for like this piece right here, right, I'll just drop in a little bit of glue, look for the flat side, push that in. Then I got one more piece left down here. Use a little bit of glue, might as well. Drop it in. And push. All right, so that's all of the green pieces. So here's a little bright. So that's all the green pieces. Next, we're gonna build the side leaves. All right, so for the side leaf pieces, we're gonna take our greens as the base here, and then kind of find the matching pieces that line up. So take the yellow piece and just kind of push it over. Yellow piece and push it over. I'll get the red tips. Let's see, this one goes on this side right here. I'm like holding it wrong. There we go. And this guy goes here. All right, so we want to make sure that we have this orientation, and then just go ahead and take each piece and glue them together. So I'll take a little bit of glue here and drop it on. Get a little bit on there. Push my yellow piece on. Then I'll do the same thing for the red piece. Push my red piece on. And now just do the same thing for the other leaf. Just make sure they're flat. So if you have like a surface that you don't mind potentially getting some glue on, you can actually use a little bit of glue and like push it flat on the surface to make sure everything lines up properly. But then do the same thing for the other one. And once they're done, we'll push them into the body. All right, so with our side leaves assembled, we're gonna take a little bit of glue here and push that into where those side leaves are going. So here and here. Then we're gonna take our leaves and just get those guys nice and in place. There's like these little stems on the bottom, so you'll just push those into the hole and let that go in. And there we go. We now have our side leaves on. So the last thing we have to do is assemble our vines. All right, so for our vine pieces, we're gonna take the matching halves here. So I got this guy here and this guy here, this kind of like U shape. And we're gonna put a little bit of glue on there. And now with glue on there, we're just gonna glue it into position on the matching half. So once you get it on there, just make sure it's all lined up nicely. Kind of just hold everything in place, get it all nice and lined up. This is looking good. And just try to get it as perfect as you can. Like this is looking solid. So like right there, I have like one solid piece here. And this is ideally what you're going for. All right, so once that one's done, we'll go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. So this is a little bit bigger, so it's gonna be a little bit harder, but just you kind of want glue all over the surface here. And obviously you don't want too much, otherwise you're gonna make a mess here. But we want a nice thin layer all the way across. So if you wanna like wipe it with something to make it all nice and smooth, feel free to do that as well. Because I do have a little bit of an excess here. So I'm gonna wipe this off to make it smooth, and then we'll continue by putting the other half on. All right, so I have a nice thin layer on here now. So I'm gonna take the other half, and I'm just gonna kind of line these guys up and push them into position. So kind of get like the ends lined up here, and you kind of got to move quick because we don't want this glue to dry on us. And if it gets stuck to your fingers, pull everything apart. So there we go. Everything is kind of lining up nice. Everything's kind of getting in position here. And just kind of like rub on the edges here. Make sure everything is all nice and perfect. Cool. So now I have a nice full vine. All right, so with these vine halves done, we're now going to take our last piece here that we have to put together is this green leaf that's going to go at the end of the vine. So just take the two halves here and push them together. Kind of just hold that in place. Let it stick nice. Make sure it's lined up. So perfect. Cool. So that makes our green end piece. All right, so unfortunately, I didn't hit record, and I put this piece on thinking I was recording. But what you guys are gonna do is back here, there is a channel, and you're gonna push this vine into the channel. But before you use any glue, you wanna make sure that once it's in this channel, you get the front of it pushed in and lined up perfectly with this piece right here. Once you have it lined up perfectly, go ahead and put a little bit of glue in the channel and just a dot of glue up here near the top, and just push it into position here and push it into position here, and just hold it and line it up to make sure it's all perfect while it's, drying. Then once you're done and this is in place, you're gonna take your little leaf tip and you're gonna push it onto the end of the vine with a little bit of glue, and just make sure that you put the seam kind of like down the middle and hidden so that way you don't see it from the front. All right, so the last piece that we're gonna put on now is this back vine. So we have a long end and a short end, and the long end is gonna get glued on the bottom here, where the short end is going to get pushed into this hole. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit of glue here and kind of drop it into this hole up top. Then you're going to take a little bit of glue and just dab it right on the end there of the vine. And now you're going to have to hold this while it dries, but you're going to push that against the piece down there. And then you're going to push the top into the hole and just hold these until the glue dries, and it should dry pretty fast. And with that, everything is in position. All right, so that completes the build of our Mega Victreebel Pokéball. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the video, on Patreon, or in Discord, and I'll be sure to help you guys out. As always, thanks for downloading the print, and happy printing.